Hey, welcome back to the show, Midnight Custom C20, and today we're going to do the mathematical mechanical way of finding out your rear end ratio. If your tag's missing, you can't find the stamp on the tube. By the way, there is a factory 3-letter code stamped in. It'll be indented, but I can't find it and I don't have the time to grind down to it. So, this is what we're doing. This is a 12 o'clock mark. Your wheel is a clock. Line those two up, and we're going to do 2 full rotations around the sun here, and we're going to get underneath, and while Morgan is rotating the tire, we're going to count how many times the drive shaft spins and where the paint mark stops at, and then we'll do the breakdown on how many rotations of the drive shaft and where it stops equals what gear ratio approximately, but it's going to be pretty spot on. So let's get you under the truck and we'll show you how it's done. Now before we begin, quick safety note. Use jack stands and leave pressure on the jack. Now this side over here, because we got an open diff, that is going to keep that tire from turning, because if you let that tire turn doing this test, it's going to throw off the calculation. So the weight's on that ain't going to rotate. We're just going to rotate this one, and then also make sure you use wheel chocks.
Most definitely. Otherwise you get yelled at by your old ladies.
All right, so we got 2 paint marks here, top and down there. Now, Morgan, I want you to rotate that towards the front of the truck 2 full turns, and we're going to count how many times this paint mark rotates around in that 2 turns.
Are you ready?
All right, are you guys ready? Okay, drop it down in the comments if you're ready. Let me know. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
1,
One full turn.
2, 3.
Lined up.
Boy howdy, I'm going to tell you folks how happy I am to see that at the 3/4 mark. That is 373s. That is the golden gear ratio. All right, I'm going to get out from under this rusty death trap, and we'll break it down for you. All right, so we did some scientific research on Pecos here. Now, we know that we have a full float 14-bolt rear end with the heavy-duty 10.5-inch ring gear. So, that's the good stuff. We got some more good stuff. It also has 373s, as you saw a little bit ago in the video, doing the rotation test and counting the rotations of the drive shaft versus the tire. So, and what that means is we know that if we lower the truck, which we're going to, it's going to get a 6/8 drop. We're going to have to run a shorter tire, either a 28-inch or 29-inch. That way the tire doesn't rub. So with that size tire, you can cruise at 60, 65 miles an hour between 2,600 and 2,800 RPM, which is a 350's sweet spot for the torque curve. And with the turbo 400 3-speed, there's no overdrive. The motor's not going to be screaming. So that's a lot of good stuff right there. And then we can kind of figure out what kind of fuel mileage we should expect versus what we're actually going to get. Now, another thing too is we are going to fuel inject this truck. It's currently carbureted, and we're looking heavily into the Holley Sniper 2 EFI system. Actually, correction. We're looking into the Holley Sniper Stealth 4150. It's not like a standard looking throttle body. It looks like a Dominator carburetor, and it is nice. So, and you can run all the things with it that the Sniper 2 runs. It's just a different head unit or throttle body, basically. So we need to know what the rear end ratio is, and we're going to have to feed that information along with the final tire size into the install wizard. So once we get the sniper system installed and it's running, it can do its self-learning and self-tuning. Now, I've never done an EFI before, but that is coming up. You just wait and see. It's coming up. We're super excited. 2026, big year for Pecos, and it's going to be a big year for Midnight Customs. And more importantly, it's going to be a big year for all of you folks watching Midnight Customs C20. Now, it's a super simple thing to figure out. Just there's lots of information and resources available to you online. Use your resources. These are very, very free things you can do that cost you nothing but a little bit of time. Now, if you're just getting into it and you don't have a truck, whatever, or sorry, the tools, you bought a truck but don't have all the tools, you might have to buy a jack stand if you don't already got it. No big deal. Harbor Freight, best friend. Anyway, I'm Brandon. This is Midnight Customs, and we appreciate you guys so very much. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all of you for watching. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.